everybody. This is Joseph P. Farrell with news and views from the Nefarium on Thursday, December 1st, 2022. The year is almost over. Can you believe it, folks? And what a year it's been. I want to take care of the housekeeping first, and then we're going to get right into today's very strange story, which, as far as I'm concerned, illustrates that not all is well with the Nefarium and that its factions are increasingly restless. But I want to remind you that tomorrow we do have our vid chat scheduled for 2:30 in the afternoon. Please do get your comments and questions submitted no later than 10 o'clock U.S. Central Time tonight. We've already had a few questions in. Don't forget also, with the holidays coming up, that tomorrow's vid chat will be the penultimate vid chat of 2022, and there will be another vid chat a week from tomorrow. I'm front loading the vid chats in December again because I want to take some time off during the holidays and just enjoy myself and recover and recuperate. No blogs during the Christmas holidays. I probably am not going to resume blogging until after my birthday in January, but I'll let everybody know when the blogs will stop. They will probably stop the week before Christmas, but the vid chats will stop a week from tomorrow, and then they'll resume in 2023 in the month of January. So that's what's going on, folks. Now, you've probably all heard that the Bai Den Jo family, the international racketeers, grifters, whatever you want to call them, they're kind of like a badly scripted Clinton family. But you probably heard the interesting news that when Mr. Bai Den Jo decided to go on vacation to Nantucket, that when he returned from the vacation, they rented 5 Secret Service automobiles for the family and the security entourage from Hertz, and that after the end of the president's vacation, all 5 of those vehicles burst into flames and the cars were totaled. So I received a pile of emails from everybody out there about this story, and needless to say, I have my own thoughts as to what might be going on here. But I want to read a few paragraphs from one article in particular that kind of summarizes the whole story rather quickly, and then it asks the person in question at the end. Needless to say, I'm in agreement with the question. So this is Dateline November 29th, 2022. The story is by Kyle Becker, titled Mystery: 5 Secret Service rental vehicles burst into flames after President Biden's weekend in Nantucket. So here we go. Quote, 5 Secret Service rental vehicles that were used by President Biden and his retinue over the Thanksgiving weekend are now burned. The Secret Service vehicles burst into flames in a parking lot on Monday, just one day after the president left from his Nantucket vacation. Biden and his family spent Thanksgiving at the island retreat. As reported by Fox News, the Secret Service rented 5 vehicles from Hertz for the president and his family. All 5 of them caught fire in the parking lot, according to footage that was first obtained by the Nantucket Current. Firefighters sprayed down the smoking remains of one of the vehicles. The 5 vehicles included a Chevy Suburban, a Ford Explorer, an Infiniti QX80, a Ford Expedition, and a Jeep Gladiator. Now, as far as I know, folks, none of those models or makes are electric cars. They're either gas or diesel. My guess would be gas. Adding to the mystery, the vehicles burst into flames at the Nantucket airport, and the blaze reportedly spread to just 40 feet away from the facility's jet fuel tanks. Thus, the vehicles not only burst into flames, but presented a danger to service workers and personnel at the airport. Skipping a couple of paragraphs here. It is unknown why 5 different vehicles would burst into flames on an airport tarmac, but there is virtually no chance that this is a case of spontaneous self-immolation. These are 5 different kinds of vehicles. Burning cars is often done when criminals or government agents wish to dispose of evidence. And I have to agree with that. The fact that the 5 cars that were specifically rented for the Bidens would burst into flames at an airport is, as the old adage goes, 1 is an accident, 2 is coincidence, 3 or more is a pattern, and this is a pattern. Okay, so something's going on, and clearly the author of the article, Kyle Becker, is implying that either the Secret Service or the Bai Den family or both are burning the cars to get rid of evidence, okay? So the article ends with this paragraph, quote, "We have some unusual questions of our own. Like, why the hell are your Secret Service rental cars bursting into flames after long holiday weekends?" Unquote. And that indeed is the question. So, there's lots of theories out there. One of the theories you just heard, that perhaps some sort of evidence was being burnt. I've even seen emails that have suggested perhaps they were burning evidence of Hunter Biden's drug use. Who knows? I rather doubt it, and here's why. You might recall that during the Kennedy assassination, the Secret Service, as it was leaving Love Airfield in Dallas, Texas on that day, was told to stand down. It was not to use its normal security protocols and procedures and basically ride on the back of the president's limousine and surround the limousine with a cordon of officers walking or jogging alongside the limousine. So, in other words, President Kennedy's security was stripped. Now, the other thing I want you to remember is back during the Obama administration, there were a couple of very odd incidents that you may recall that were reported very early on in his administration. And to me, those incidents were telltale signs that a message was being sent to Obama to mind his P's and Q's and do exactly what we tell you to do or else. The first incident you might recall was when he gave a state dinner at the White House for the visiting Indian Premier, Mr. Modi. And there were a couple of gate crashers that actually obtained seats, were seated in the formal dining area along with all the notaries and noble people that were there at that state dinner. In other words, the security allowed a lapse to occur. And my suspicion at the time was this was not just a passing incident. This was not simply a bit of incompetence on the part of President Obama's security detail. It was a message that was being sent to him. We can strip you of your security at any time. Now, a few months later, you might recall that the First Lady, Michelle Obama, was put in a similar situation by someone who broke through the security. They were apparently appearing together at some sort of speaking engagement. But someone apparently broke through the security cordon around the Obamas and made it to within a few feet of the First Lady. And again, I don't think this was due to incompetence or anything of the sort. I think it was sending a message. Now, let's look at this message, and that is indeed my theory, that this was a message rather than a bit of evidence burning or that it was a failed or incompetent assassination attempt on the Biden family. It is rather a message to the entire family to play ball and mind their P's and Q's. So the question becomes, who might have sent the message? On that score, my friends, I think there's a lot of plausible candidates. We're watching the meltdown of the FTX cryptocurrency business. We're incidentally seeing a lot of other people that were involved in starting up cryptocurrencies mysteriously dying, particularly Russian crypto traders. So there's something going on possibly there. And we're watching the unraveling, quite frankly, of the Zelensky regime in Kiev. And yeah, I'm going to keep pronouncing it Kiev. Okay, that's the way I grew up, and that's the way I'm going to keep pronouncing it. So it could even be a warning note from Ukrainian intelligence to the Bai Den family to keep the spigots of money and aid going and keep propping up that regime. And it could be a message from disgruntled corporate leaders within Mr. Globaloney's faction trying to warn Biden, quit with the radical nonsense and start following the orders that we give you, or, your family could be in the crosshairs. It could be any number of people, folks, but my point is that this has the hallmarks of sending a message. If it had been just one of the rented cars, perhaps the rented car that was used by the Bidens themselves, it would have been viewed with some suspicion, but it could have been brushed off as an accident. But all 5 of the very specific cars that were rented for the weekend, that's a message. Because had they wanted to assassinate him, they could have done that very easily. So this has all the hallmarks to me of a message being sent. I don't know who sent it. My preferences would be on some disgruntled factions with either within the Democratic Party or within the corporate world or within the intelligence world within the West, or it might be a warning shot from the Ukrainians themselves to keep their mouths shut and keep playing ball. Let's remember, the Bai Den family is over a barrel because of their dealings not only with China, but because of their dealings with the Ukraine. So, the gun that Mr. Biden boasts that he had to the Ukrainians' head a few years ago, that gun is now pointing right back at him. So there's something going on, folks. This may be a story to watch very, very carefully. I suspect that we'll be hearing a little bit more about it in the weeks perhaps to come. So don't forget, tomorrow is a vid chat. The vid chat's probably going to start a little early. I will be in there early to make sure everything is up and functioning. Please don't forget, if you're planning to submit questions or comments, get them in by 10 o'clock U.S. Central Time tonight so that I have an opportunity to print them out and review everything. We'll see you on the flip side, everybody. Bye-bye, and God bless.